the Drua, so there's definitely some redemption needed from the Reds.
And we're seeing both sides. There's a lot of familiar names. We've got a lot of new names. We've got debutants. So it's a bit of a mixed basket today, and I think it's going to be an interesting outcome at the end that I can't pick at this point in time.
Debutants all over the park, and not to mention two new head coaches for both sides, Grant Anderson for the Reds and Moses Rauluni for the Drua. So new direction, new leadership amongst both sides. It's going to be really interesting to see how these teams bring in their debutants today.
And it's been a brilliant weekend so far. We've seen two great games over Friday and Saturday, and it started obviously with the Force and the Rebels in the West. Kiri, you were on deck for that one. What did you make of it?
It was a big game. The Force, they've had an incredible off-season. We talked a lot about their program and what they've been doing over West, so big win for them, and nice to start off their campaign with a lot of tries under their belt.
And we're going to talk about big wins. The Waratahs, they're really coming in hot and heavy this year, 45-10 over the Brumbies at the doubleheader last night. That's a big statement early on.
I think it's that cohesion from the Waratahs. You've got a number of players in the fold there that are returning from multiple seasons in the Sky Blue, so a big win for them as to be expected. They've got some quality players in that team this year.
Well, it is a short season. We've only got 5 rounds to pick who makes it to final, so the sooner these teams can be up to speed and playing their best footy, it's really going to do them justice, because you don't get second chances at playing these teams in the regular season. And there's always a great Fijian component here in Brisbane, and it's great to see the stands back at Ballymore, the new McLean stand off the back of the National Rugby Training Centre. It's a fantastic vibe here, and the Fijians, they always bring a good bit of vibe, and this team is packed with it.
The Drua, they've got 2 debutants in the starting. Unasi Lalabalavu will start in at hooker on debut, but it'll be this back row that's crucial for the Drua. Teresa Tananivalu in at 6, Salida Waisanga at 7, and Carolina Naiwesa in at 8.
Moses Rauluni, new coach of the side. He's joined by his fellow former flying Fijians in Seremaya Bai, and then also Kelly Lewa, and we see them making them.
She was a part of that grand final in 2023, so certainly experienced, and we're talking about that back row pack. She'll be there to lead the way in that beautiful, open, free-flowing style that the Drua love to play.
Yeah, very warm here in Brisbane at the moment. I think the Fijians will be happy with the conditions as we see the home side making their way out hand in hand with lots of juniors from across the land. It's a nice looking side, and they're ready to go.
Got an international front 3. Maddie Shuck starting in at 1, Tiana Malloy in at 2, both Wallaroos. And the inclusion of Charlie Jacoby this year, USA Eagles international. Big.
Yeah, she's trailing captain Cecilia Smith by...
Cecilia Smith, she's been on the radar for a number of years, but for me, 2023 was an absolute standout for her. She was incredible in the Wallaroos and with the Reds last year. She's maintained that performance into this year, earning the captaincy for the Reds, so she'll be crucial for the Queensland Reds this afternoon.
Ella Goldsmith in charge of the match for the next 80 minutes. And it's going to be one hell of a match between these two sides. And these two teams, they met at season's end last year, and they're back to restart their season against one another. Match of Super Rugby Women's Round 1. It's the Reds up against the Drua. The Drua ball in hand. Senikarivi at the back. One of a host of capped international Fijiana players. And the kick will be fielded well there by Kramer. Now the Reds attacking on this beautiful Ballymore wicket. They'll knock it on. And it'll be a Drua scrum. I guess for everyone at home, just to fill them in a bit, we've seen a bit of a change up in the namings of the Fijian ladies this year. They are called the Fijian Drua, the same as the men, and that handle of Fijiana Kiriit's return to their national side.
Yeah, that's right, and it's great to see that they're building cohesion with their brand, aligning with their men's side, and take a look at them. They're just outstanding athletes, and I'm excited to see what they put out on the park. Two premierships under their belt. They'll certainly have a target on their backs this year.
So first scrum of the afternoon. Koravata Lalambalavu, Vonaseri, the vice-captain for the Drua up the front. Not pushing straight, giving away the free kick for the Reds. But they're right in the guts of the park. And they'll be weighing up their options.
Early reprieve from the Reds off of an error. Just a wayward pass, and they're going to take the fast tap.
Dallinger gets things moving. Offloads are plenty. Here it is for Kramer. Her first run back in a Reds jersey in some time. The Exeter Chief over the last couple of seasons. Oh, and a knock on off the hands of Denny Ross. Another scrum to come here for the Drua. They're going to have to tighten it up if they don't want to give away a penalty.
We did have a bit of rain earlier, Marty, so I'm not sure if the handling errors. Now knock on, and they did earn the shorthand penalty off the scrum, so
Kobe in the front row for the Reds. Put a bit of pressure on their opponents a few minutes ago. And they'll be looking to double down and get another. Sindikarivi puts it in. It's an even pass away. The Drua looking for some. Will be right
from the Drua off of this blind side. We saw Naisewa picking off the back of the scrum. But it was just one pass too many.
Hands.
They had a good shove there, Q. If they just backed the leg power, they probably could have turned that one over.
It was an excellent counter ruck from the Drua, and the Reds, certainly what they're going to be in for this afternoon, a fast and physical game, and they need to match the intensity right now. The security over the rucks lacking as the Drua almost got away with that one.
Better take up high from Greenhouse as the Reds forwards combine and approach the 22. Crossfield kick here for Dallinger. They run.
Dallinger with the early ball security, letting the Reds down. To work the defense, rushing up. Unfortunately,
Sinakarivi. She'll be frustrated. The forwards have been picked apart. It's a full penalty this time, and the Reds are in far better territory.
Another big win for the Queensland Reds at scrum time. That's 2 now. They'll certainly take a ton of confidence away from their set piece at the moment and in a perfect position to really give themselves a chance. Let's take another look here.
Eyes up at the front there, knee for me.
Going through straight from the Drua, angling in.
White, come in a bit.
Big line out here for Malloy. It's the front option, but it won't be straight.
Not straight.
And it's a brilliant atmosphere down at Ballymore today, and joining us for the first time on the broadcast, Mr. Jeremy Austin on the sideline. Jeremy checking out some stuff on the bench at the moment. We'll get back to him in just a moment.
Both sides got to stay straight this side. Both of you, straight. Keep it up here. Use the ball.
Isewa gets her hands on it. Rocco Uno for the clearance kick.
It's good clearance from the number 10, Rocco Uno, to get her team out of trouble. The Reds have just been probing in the Drua half for the last few minutes.
It's time off. She's in the line out. Time's off.
We'll throw it down now. Rookie, you there?
Okay. Time on.
Yes, Marty, I was just saying before that you mentioned that the scrum and line-out seems to be a little bit messy. I think it's just a little bit of rust. The polish will come later on in the season. And Kira, you mentioned the weather. It is absolutely steaming down here at the moment, so expect a few handling errors as the sweat increases.
So Dallinger with the clearance kick down the park. It's an absolute corker. We've seen now twice in 2 weeks. It was Laurie Kramer against the Rebels last week, and now it's Karis Dallinger knocking
Will have another opportunity from their try line with the line out. Beautifully executed off the right boot.
And Kira, I guess it can't be understated that we've got within this Red side, not only Dallinger, but we've got Laurie Kramer as well. She's no slouch when it comes to kicking. So having those good 2 kicking options. I mean, I can't remember if Kiri's a left or a right. I know Dallinger's a right, but there'd be so much pay. And we've seen this in the Northern Hemisphere rugby, which Kiri's been...
No, you're right.
Laurie's been playing in.
Play?
Kicking up there is king. Queen. Kicking is queen up there, and it really makes or breaks teams' successes.
Certainly, and it brings a multifaceted approach to the game when you have those players in different areas around the park that can send those kicks down. In this instance, Karis Dallinger has just created an opportunity out of nothing. They weren't even in within their own half, and now they're in prime position to score.
And saw an interview during the week, Laurie Kramer talking about how she's not the young player in the squad anymore. She's a more senior member, but there's a new level of enjoyment being able to work with the younger players and teach them and see the team. Smith. Loose ball. Doherty's got a jump on it, but it'll be a penalty against the Drua at the breakdown. They're giving away a lot of free territory and possession here for the Reds through these penalties.
Yeah, that's right. We're only 9 minutes in, and the Drua already notching up the penalties on their side. And So you can see here, it's just allowing the Queensland Reds to take set piece and key positions. They'll be in the middle of the park now.
We're going to meet in the middle. Okay, you guys hold your weight. They're going to take the weight.
These little niggly penalties. Remember that game last year at West, with the only time we've seen the Reds beat the Drua. There was a lot of penalties that day. We saw some cards. They got on the wrong side of the penalty count in a big way, and then the Reds got in. That discipline is going to be crucial for them to get a win today. Quick feed there by Doherty. That ball is suspended in the middle. The Drua get the tight head, and now they're on the counter attack from inside their 22. Loose carry in the middle of it. It'll be knocked on. So it's back for the Reds, and just when we think this scrum battle was leaning too much one way, the Drua have rallied together and they've really rocked the Reds.
Yeah, the Reds, they were confident at scrum time after a few wins, but the Drua pegged one back. That's what makes the Drua so dangerous. It's their ability to counter-attack once they win that ball. They're off and away. Just handling error has marred their momentum. We'll come back to another scrum, but it's a good win from the Drua at scrum time.
They'll have their tails up as they head into this one. Wonderful to be at Ballymore, the Hello Turf. I have to say, Kiri, it's looking pretty good at the moment, old Ballymore.
Both sides, we talked about patience, okay, in the shed, okay? Both sides came in. Let's hold our weight.
The referee having to communicate early with both sides at scrum time. There's been a bit of niggle in there.
Quick reset, let's go. We need a cadence. Coach. Set. Hold your weight here.
It's a big collision up front. Doherty pulls it out. Rolls away from one, picks and goes for an extra metre. On the short side, Doherty. Nice little pass from Naroquette as the Reds try to unlock space for Christ.
You have a scrum penalty advantage, 9.
Malloy with the penalty advantage behind them. The Reds inside the Drua 22. Little step from Ross, but she's taken nicely there by Waisenga. Inside from Dallinger.
Still playing
the Reds are
offside
probing and looking for ways through. Oh, but that pass won't be any good. They'll bring it back for the penalty.
Here.
It's been an impressive few minutes for the Queensland Reds.
Towards here. Sorry.
14 minutes of this first half, almost every single one of them has been within the Drua half. And looking at what I'm seeing so far, the speed in which they're reloading from the rucks and the options that Dallinger and Doherty have. Kobe going a miss, but had the advantage.
Red, just come in a little bit. Girls, let Red. Gap's way too big.
Right. Here's the Drua in the grand final last year for the throw. Double fake, and they'll... Inside ball there.
James, stay down, well done.
Doherty fighting through the traffic. Now it's with Naroquette, running against her old team. Naroquette gets 3 metres away. Down a halfback.
No.
The Reds pick to rumble, and they're rumbling indeed. And they're through. It's a great try for the Reds. They're on the scoreboard first.
The pressure was mounting for the Queensland Reds. They had a number of penalties, a ton of phase play leading up to the first 5 points from Tiana Malloy, and just some patience and good ball security, particularly security in their rucks to get that ball back and out going again. We take another look here. Big hit from Mel Wilkes to get her team on the go forward.
Cheers, thanks, Joe.
It's the second passage of play. The Reds were close to their line, and just the intensity in which their back line is going forward. A few pop passes back inside just to keep the Drua defenders guessing. Well executed passage of play from the Queensland Reds. A very deserving 5-pointer.
Kramer makes the kick. It's the Reds up by 7, and with that kick, Laurie Kramer now ties with Cecilia Smith on 111 points each as leading point scorers for the Reds all time. And the Reds, Kiri, they've had a tremendous amount of territory inside that red zone. And I think head coach Grant Anderson, he'll be happy to see them coming away with points.
He certainly will be. They were applying the pressure early on.
Worm burner of a restart will be scooped up nicely by Irwin. Narukete. She came off the bench for the Drua in the grand final against the Reds last year, did the number 8. And she's swapped allegiances, playing for the Reds, but still eligible to play for the international women's side, the Fijiana. Good opportunity for her. Rugby, the game that allows so much for its players to travel the world and get wonderful experiences. The beautiful things of the game. Nakesa. They haven't spent much time at this end of the field. Senikarivi. Rocco Ono. Wonderful passing, and there is space, but the ball's left behind by Senga. Couldn't grab it. Now here on the short side, Milania tries to get the hands free, and she does. Ball still in play. Senikarivi. Short ball for Coates. Acting halfway, Singer gets it out. Nice counter here from Korovata.
Hold there, Pillar.
Longest attacking piece for the Drua this afternoon. Tanani Valu gets the offload away. They continue to go forward, but Nevosa was completely isolated, and the Reds have waited to get a turnover, and it's that lady right there.
Just one roll too many from Nevosa. It was a good passage of play in the lead up for the Drua, and something that makes them so dangerous is their ability to keep that ball in play no matter which direction they're going on the field.
Oh, and the kick for touch doesn't make the sideline, so they're on the counter. Rocco Uno, ball in hand, right up the middle. She's back from a stint in the NRLW. Now the Drua, left-hand side, unlocking Milania. The Reds shut the gate in front of her as Kramer gets her by the ankles.
No, don't milk that.
Senikarivi trying to get the penalty from Kramer being offside, but the Drua are starting to find some space, find some momentum. Little pass away, right-hand side is open. Nevosa is away, straightens up, but it's a good tackle from Dallinger. Off the deck, Tanani Valu scores, and the Momentum Maidens from Fiji score a brilliant, brilliant try.
Well, it was Tanani Valu, the one to finish it off, but in the lead-up, Nevosa, just such a powerhouse of a runner, blitzing through Queensland Reds defenders, and the Drua answer straight back to the opening try from the Reds with their own 5-pointer. It's wonderful, unstructured play from the Drua. So hard to defend, and what they do, they keep their hands free and they disjoin that defensive line so well. There's just gaps everywhere.
And really positive signs for Moses Rauluni and his team, because they haven't had too much time in the opposing half. They get one good incursion in, they get that famous roll on, and it's just offload for offload. They're not getting bogged down in those rucks, and it's just fantastic flowing footy.
That's right, their ability to score and score fast makes them such a threat.
They tie it all up. Here's the kick from Tisolo. And it will be unsuccessful. So it is the Drua trailing the Reds, 5 points to 7. And a fantastic try it was up that right-hand side of the field. They finally got to break away, and this was the first time we've seen the Reds' defence struggle to keep up.
Yeah, that's right, as we talked about, just that disjointed defensive line, and the Reds are all scrambling on the back foot.
Restart is knocked on. And it's a little round one treat there for the Reds. They're in a perfect position to have another go.
Oh, Nervosa, she just had herself a try assist and fortunately wasn't able to recoup, get that ball in their hand.
Please, second row. Coach! Fine! All right, time off. Nice shot, Maddie. Nice shot, Maddie. Make sure, okay, let's get long bind. Long bind both sides, okay?
Jacoby in the front row.
Time back on. Quick reset.
Mum and Dad are truckers. She's got an 18-wheeler tattoo on the inside of one of her arms. Wonderful character and
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Danger with Long.
Advantage.
They were waiting for something in the back line, but the Drua forwards had something else to say about that. They turn over their second scrum of the afternoon. And now they'll chop it on down the park. Kramer will tip it on, but no advantage to be played.
Angle.
And the penalty going against Charlie Jacoby. Angling in at scrum time.
It's another big win for the Drua at scrum time. A lot of back and forth in there. The ref having to reset the scrum a number of times now in this opening half. As Jeremy mentioned, just a bit of rust potentially on the front rows, angling in the call for the penalty a couple of times.
I think personally we're seeing the dark arts. I think we're starting to see front rowers. They're learning on the job. They're figuring out what's in front of them. And there was always a question mark about the set piece for the Fijians and both the men's and the women's team when we saw them introduced to competitions 2 or 3 years ago. But I don't think that's a thing anymore because they're showing a lot of confidence and they've been executing very well at the set piece, which allows them to execute well in the back line. Here they go again, the Drua. Oh, and the carry from Tasolo. She didn't know what to do with it. It'll be lost forward. And it's here now with Wilkes, who gets dragged into touch, but will play the scrum.
Edge-to-edge stuff from the Drua and Tasolo. Looks like she was trying to get her hands free. She had her player, Melina, on her outside as we take another look. A lovely shift to this left side edge. And
eyes up on this side.
she's just trying to get her hands up and over for that offload to Melania. But unfortunately, it's hit the player over red.
Let's go. Nice here.
I think Kramer used her head. Now Kete packing in at the back of that red scrum.
Let's go, girls. Come on.
She's... You don't think about it, but now there's no Fijian secrets left that she can't translate for her team. Wonderful vision here, right down the tunnel. Look at the shove from the Drua. Doherty's in all sorts at the back. She'll give a desperate ball to Dallinger as the Reds look to run it out in front of their 22 and cantering away is Wilkes. What a carry. She'll be smashed down though by Arai. Now the Reds on the front foot. Greenhouse over to the left. Kramer up into first row. Pass away for Christ. Greenhouse back in for another, but she'll spill the ball. And now it's with the Drua looking to scramble and counter-attack. Bonacere, one of the vice-captains. Sedekarivi on the left-hand side, but that pass will be dislodged, a couple of knocks
Knock on in the
each
tackle
way,
by Red.
and it'll be Drua for the scrum.
Yeah, okay.
Entertaining rugby in the opening 25 minutes.
Thumbs off.
The ball all over the place at the moment. Scrum will be a good settler to get it going. And in the lead up to this, it's Mel Wilkes. You know how well she does with ball in hand, and she just sliced through the Drua defensive line. She was looking for support on her left-hand side to get that ball away, but
Water off, we're going to
it
play.
wasn't to be.
Water off.
And rookie, this battle at scrum time, it is an evolving story.
Let's go.
Mate, it sure is. If you go back to the grand final last year and the Reds with that set-piece dominance for the entire game, things have changed. Half-time pretty.
The old sweatometer was down on ground level. Now the Drua scrum, they're loving the conditions. It's good underfoot. The atmosphere around them is electric. And now that's their third penalty at scrum time. They are on the march.
Offside.
The Reds, they've just switched off at their scrums. Another penalty to the Drua. And they'll send it down the field, not to find touch.
It's a bit of a coach killer as Dallinger gets the pass away. And now Smith works it across. Little flutter step from Wilkes, who's been part of that Bond University back-to-back premiership in the last 2 seasons in the local comp here. And Ross gets the pass away. Received well by Tassai. The little chip as she goes over there. Be able to grab it, it'll be lost. And now it's here with Wong. Doherty runs right into Coates, but there's a penalty now. Offside was Navosa, and it'll be the Reds' turn. This has been an up-tempo game for round 1.
There's a good game awareness from Sarah Doherty. She looked up and she saw a bunch of Drua defenders offside. She just made a beeline for them and earned her team a penalty because of it. Lovely kick from Tassolo, and the bounce was timed perfectly. She just couldn't pull that in right at the end. Good disruption from Doreen Narakatet.
Here's a Tassolo. Very today. Navosa and number 20. To the applause, and they're really getting their Sunday afternoon's work.
Millenia thought that she was away. Caitlin Irwin with the chase down. She was impressive in the trials for the Queensland Reds, and she hasn't missed a beat. She's back into it, handling issues from the Reds, gifting the Drua possession, and the counter-attack is flawless as they come down this left-hand side.
Oh, and there's been an error at line-out time. It's back. Passes it across. They look to the fringes, but it'll be left behind. Still with the Drua. Now it's with the debutant, Navosa.
Tackle release.
Kessa looking for the turnover for the Reds.
Offside, Red.
Now they've got penalty advantage.
Offside. 12 and 13.
The centre's offside. The Drua.
On they are,
The
please,
three
ladies.
grab an early lead.
That's where you are. Tapping. Let's go.
Looks like it's schoolyard rules. The Drua gives it to Korovata. Flies into it. Now, one out.
That's hit me, ladies. That's hit
Nice
me.
Sewa. I couldn't grab it because it's struck the arm of Ella Goldsmith. So it'll be the Drua with a scrum carry. And I don't think that's a bad result. They're 5 metres out, and they have had the upper hand at this for the last probably 15, 20 minutes.
They certainly have 5 metres from their line, right in the middle of the park. The Reds certainly need to find something if they want to hold off this Drua side at the moment.
Let's go, 2 row. Let's go, please. In. Coach. Fine.
Dumu will get taken out. They're going at them, and that
From Caitlin Irwin, which forces the error for the Drua, and they lost about 15 metres. Went to go again, but unfortunately have knocked it on in general.
off that. Player.
Vanya Wong back on her inside. This was the moment she needed to release it to Wong. She just overran that one, and defensively from Nervosa, good read to take her over the sideline.
The gap's too big. Okay, that's my mark.
On Nervosa, a debutante. She's had that far side wing locked down today as the Drua locked down enough after Dumu's carry sees it dislodged. So the Reds with a scrum, their last one looking a bit better. But Ella Goldsmith, she's really got a keen eye on this scrum at the moment because it's a pretty big point of contention.
Exactly, and she's just telling the teams, let her deal with it. There's a lot of voices in that scrum at the moment, back and forth about what each team should be doing. And ultimately, it's the handling errors that are killing both sides, maintaining possession and being able to build phases.
And the Reds stacking hard on that right-hand side. Dallinger, little chip over the top. The bounce is not favourable for the Reds. Here it is now for the Drua. Near there to clean it up. Senekarivi, Coates. Oh, and through the gap is Dumu. Beats the first, but Kramer gets around the bootlaces. Senekarivi for Coates. Reds looking for a pilfer. Referee Goldsmith says hands off. Who gets the pass away, but it'll be knocked on by Korovata.
Then by red.
We're starting to see a lot of these first, second pass knock-ons here for the Drua, and it's keeping the Reds in the game a bit.
It certainly is. Once again, a handling error from the Drua. After a passage of just beautiful work, Jade Coates with a lovely read, a little pop-off pass to Dumu.
Where she is, sorry.
Break the line.
to the left.
She was away. Caught up to her, and they've tried to reload back to that right side. They'll come down for the scrum with the Reds feed.
Well, if you're just joining us here, round one of the Super Rugby Women's Competition. Grand final rematch from last year. Reds hosting the current back-to-back champions, the Drua. 2 points the difference as we look down the barrel of half-time. And that is a costly error
Sorry, I lost my whistle.
from the number 8. Narakete knocks it on. Opens the door for another Drua attack.
Narakete looks like she was thinking about the pass before she had that ball in her hand, and in a situation where your scrum has been under pressure a number of times, you want to try and get that ball out as fast as you can. Fortunately, hasn't paid off for her.
Here, okay? Elbows up.
Flip the script, and the Drua will have the feed.
Yeah, big occasion here for both sides. Season's only 5 games long plus finals, but we've got international matches coming up. And
Start the valiant effort.
line, and then what does she?
Obviously coming back onto
Crashes over the 22. Now it's with Smith. Field. Pass will bounce. More than happy for some more. Half-time is looming. They take the easy route. Do they take the lead into the break, or do they do what we know they love doing and go looking for a few more? Lysinger in at acting half. Finds Coates. Wonderful spread here for the Drua out on this near side of the field. They're into space again. It's a great carry from their captain. Nice sailor. She offloads it in the thick of it. Still moving forward. The Drua looking for a candidate, and Korovata says it's me. Now a penalty against the Reds. Got rolling away. But they've tapped and gone, but they were definitely not 10, and I think that's going to be a yellow card. Nice. 7 now.
Just wait till I call time back on hold.
And interesting enough here, Kiri. Centre of the field. It's going to be a tap and go for sure from the Drua. Malkesa. Sinakarivi. 2 little passes, finds Lysinger. Now Coates loses it in the tackle. That'll be a knock on. And that'll be half-time. An entertaining first 40, but it is the reigning champions in the lead over the Reds. Drua 10, Queensland 5. What a first half there, Kiri. Had a bit of everything. I think the coming of age with that scrum for the Drua really guided them well.
That's right. They were on the back foot with the scrum. They gave all the confidence and momentum to the Reds, and there's barely anything in it with this scoreline, so it's going to be an interesting second half.
Well, let's kick it on down now. Jeremy Austin, he's with Laurie Kramer.
Laurie, fast, hot, heavy. How's it been out there for you?
Honestly, it's like
and we're in the middle of it here. It's half-time at Ballymore. The Drua are in the lead, 10 points to 7. The breakdown just around the corner. Stay with us.
When it comes to the game we love, Stan Sport has you covered like never before.
Oh, how?
Insights and highlights every night of the week.
They are the busiest 12-13 in the competition this week.
Monday, Between Two Posts, unpacks the weekend.
The new digs are A1, baby.
Tuesday, if it's happening in rugby, it's on Rugby Heaven.
I think we've got some really good stocks. We've just got to nurture them through.
Wednesday, the call-up has the latest team news as it breaks.
Morgan Turinui, welcome to you, and welcome to a whole new show.
Thursday, get set for kick-off and a full round preview. Join us for the night before game day.
What's happening now with the Melbourne Rebels?
Win, buddy. Yeah, thanks, mate.
Unbeatable access and the most dedicated team in the game. More than ever, Stan Sport is the home of rugby.
Superstore's Ben Feldman. Stars in the darkly funny Stan original series Population 11.
Looking for my father, Hugo.
Don't know any here, guys. A hilarious crime mystery from the director of Hacks and Brooklyn Nine-Nine. In a town this tiny, everyone's a suspect.
Keep a close eye on everyone.
Great, now I have to...
Junior's led some massive shots here. Here we go again. Love it. Oh, big shot.
Messiah gets into the backfield. Looking to go to the line. Try. An immediate hit back. Barnstormer of a run. Oh, big tackle. Oh, picked off beautifully. Oh, see you later. That is a counter-attacking masterclass. They go back to back.
Good morning, folks. It's a lovely day here in Portland.
Power making moves. McLaughlin getting freight train here on. Oh, that's Stingray run. All 5 lights are off. We got green in Mexico City, green in London, green in Seoul, New York City, Hong Kong, Berlin. This is the greatest spectacle in racing. Indianapolis 500. We go green in Hyderabad. Oh, contact between the two. We go through, yes he can. In the darkness on the damn track. Oh, trouble. Big high speed on.
Hopefully we won't fall off the edge.
Going to stay low over the next jump. And we're going to have a change for the lead. Upside down and back to front.
From 5th to 3rd in the one move. Oh, it's an spin. 300,000 plus in the stands today. They've seen it all.
Oh my God, boys, what have we just done?
Are you kidding me?
So who are we dealing with? Anarchists? Islamists? Extreme right? Great to see a woman in the job.
Who's that?
These guys are clever. Many more will die before you stop them.
Get everyone evacuated. No!
It's our fight. And we will win.
What an occasion it has been here, the final match of round 1 for the Super Rugby Women's. A grand final rematch. It has not disappointed. Haven't been too many hugs on the field between these two sides. It's been a fierce battle, Kiribati.
And it was the Queensland Reds to opening the scoring account through their hooker, Tiana Malloy. They had a fantastic start. They had all the momentum and dominance at scrum time. It was a lovely little play off the line out and just some pressure building that led to their opening try.
And then it took a little while, but some 20 minutes later, we finally see the Drua open it up on that far side.
And it was Nevosa just running down that line on the right-hand side with the ball.
Game, we look at the timeline for the scoring. Took about 15. Drua, they got comfortable. We see them getting over in that back half of the first period of the game, and it's all tied up, nearly 10 points to 7. Not much in it. It's going to be a big 40 to come. So stay with us here on Stan Sport.
When it comes to the game we love, Stan Sport has you covered like never before.
Oh, how?
Insights and highlights every night of the week.
They are the busiest 12-13 in the competition this week.
Monday, Between Two Posts, unpacks the weekend.
The new digs are A1, baby.
Tuesday, if it's happening in rugby, it's on rugby.
A whole new show.
Thursday, off and
Hugo? I'm down to you guys.
A hilarious crime mystery. In a town as a suspect.
Keep a close eye on everyone.
Great, now I have to log that.
The brand new Stan original series, Population 11. Now streaming only on Stan.
We are ready! Paulo! Sweet pea of Guso! Tavita! Pangai Jr.
Pangai Jr.'s led some massive shots here.
Here we go again. Love it.
Oh, big shot.
Messiah gets into the backfield. Looking to go to the left. Try. An immediate hit back. Barnstormer of a run.
Big tackle. Oh, picked off beautifully. Oh, see you later. That is a counter-attacking masterclass. They go back to back.
Good morning, folks. It's a lovely day here in Portland.
200 miles an hour. Power making moves. McLaughlin getting freight train here on. Oh, that's Stingray Rock.
All 5 lights are on. And we got green in Mexico City. Green in London, green in Seoul, New York City, Hong Kong, Berlin.
This is the greatest spectacle in racing. The Indianapolis 500.
We go green in Hyderabad.
Oh, contact between the two.
We go through, yes he can.
In the darkness on the damn track. Oh, trouble. Big high speed on. Oh.
Hopefully we won't fall off the edge.
Going to stay low over the next jump. And we're going to have a change for the lead. Upside down and back to front. From 5th to 3rd in the one move. Oh, to that spin. 300,000 plus in the stands today. Have seen it all.
Oh my God, boys, what have we just done?
Are you kidding me?
So who are we dealing with? Anarchists, Islamists, extreme right? Great to see a woman in the job.
Who's that?
These guys are clever. Many more will die before you stop them.
Get everyone evacuated. No!
It's our fight. And we will win.
Been a blockbuster opening 40 minutes, and it's not just this Super Rugby women's title, it's on the line, Kiri. We've got international rugby for both of these teams just around the corner.
That's right, the Wallaroos will get started straight after Super W, and what an international calendar they have on their hands.
Yeah, obviously up against Canada in the Pac-4 on the 11th of May at Allianz, and they're at Amy Park in Melbourne. A week later playing the States, they've got the Black Ferns over in New Zealand, May 25th, the Fijians. And the Black Ferns, again, that Black Ferns too, they'll be back here at Ballymore Sunday 14th of July afternoon, test match footy at Ballymore. What a perfect recipe.
Good to go.
And right now,
Okay.
in this fixture, it is the Drua in the lead, 10 points to 7. It's a narrow margin as we see the Reds off the restart. Greenhalgh, this is not good news. She's come back from multiple knee reconstructions, and she was actually out for over 700 days, and this was her first game back at this level. The Reds still down to 14 players, and your heart sinks a little bit when you see players that have overcome so much adversity to get back here, and you just want to see them playing a bit of footy.
Certainly does. First game back of the season for Alina Horgan. She's done a ton of work over the past few years to get back onto the park, and you never want to see anyone go down with any kind of injury, so hoping it is nothing too serious. Both teams getting a bit more of a breather after half-time, and Marty, if there's one thing I'm sure both teams would have talked about at half-time, a glaring statistic of handling errors and the knock-ons both teams need to address if they want to build momentum and eventually take this game out.
Yeah, well, it's a tough calendar coming up for both sides, and they're going to have to, like you said, they've got to tighten those things up. And talking about someone who needs to tighten things up, Jeremy Austin, kicking it down to you, mate. That chat with Laurie Kramer at half-time, mate, what were her insights on the game looking forward to this second half?
Mate, I think they've just got to improve, not just from the back's perspective where she is at fullback, the forward play where they've got their set piece, and they really need to get that sorted. Last year's grand final, they showed how much ascendancy they can have on a game when they do get that set piece right. I just don't think they've got it right so far. I think it will come. Now, this massive crowd that is behind me, they're out at the moment while the halftime break's been on, getting plenty of food and drink. I tell you, they've been really, really loud, which has been great for the first game of the season here at Ballymore. Now, injury-wise, there hasn't been any changes so far to the Reds team. There's been a few for the Fijian female team, but we are going to see probably a good, expansive game in probably the last 15 minutes.
Bit of a studded start here for the second half.
Where you are.
And the Reds open up the second half like they did the first. A short arm, free kick off the scrum as their captain, Cecilia Smith, gets a good rumble forward. Doherty out here for Jacoby. Greenhouse still on the field, tough as nails. Doherty knocks it on. Bodies flying everywhere out of the breakdown, and on all fours, Jacoby has potentially come off second best.
It was a huge defensive effort from the Drua. The Reds drew the short arm penalty in the scrum, and they went quick and they spread quickly to this left-hand side, and Joe Jacoby has come off worse for wear because of it.
It's been fiercely competitive at the breakdowns. That's always been a quality of the Fijians' game. It's just a bruteness with how they approach this. And it looks like Kobe was just bottom of the pile and copped a whole lot of player on top of it.
Just an awkward position there in the bottom of the ruck.
Did you see that? No, we haven't seen it. Sorry, we're sorry. We haven't seen it.
They're never short of a good support of the Fijians. They can play anywhere in the world and they're always well supported. We talk about playing anywhere in the world. The Sevens will be back up and running. Hong Kong the next stop. April 5th to 7. Then we've got Singapore, May 3rd to 5th. And then Madrid late May into early June. And then that's all propelling us into the Olympics from July 20 to 30 at Stade de Francais. And you can catch all of that ad-free live and on demand via your home of rugby and the Olympic stand sport on Channel 9. So an exciting period for rugby lovers coming up. Club rugby's not too far away either. Locally here, still Local Hospital Cup. It kicks off on the 6th of April. Likewise, same date down in Sydney, the Charter Hall Shoot Shield. So plenty of content this time of year to satisfy. As we see the Drua, first touch in hand, they've got a yawning gap to play in on the far side. And they'll entrust it with Milania. Milania breaks away from one. Milania wanted to offload desperately, and she will. There it is with Orai! And they'll crash through for an early score in the second half.
Well, the Drua making the most of the Reds, having a man down in this opening portion of the second half, and what a wonderful play we had on that left-hand side. Vani Arai, she has been a prominent player in this Drua team for a number of seasons now. She opens up the scoring in this second half. As we take another look. Reds defenders sliding off Milania and Vani Arai. She chooses to go down this blind side, and it's the right option. Had a huge overlap on the left and they spread wide nice and early.
Well, I think there's a bit of collateral in back play. Mel Wilkes, it looks like she's come up pretty lame on that left ankle. Wasn't much in it. She's getting treatment at the moment as we come back to the kick here for Tisolo. Hasn't found that important space between the posts yet today. It's got good line, but it just doesn't have the distance. So it will be the Drua in the lead, 15 points to 7. That yellow card really stinging the Reds at the moment, Kiri. The Drua are just manipulating that space out wide so effortlessly.
Certainly is, and I spoke about it earlier, Marty. In tight contests like this, you need every single player on that park to get over the line, and teams like Drua would just punish you in those moments when you're a man down.
as they tend to Mel Wilkes on the ground, the former Caboolture Snake Jr. It's heartbreaking to see. I'll take her off the field and we'll see a prompt substitution for her in the centres. I just wonder if we're going to see maybe young Shalom Sawaso come onto the field. And there she is, the youngster, 17 years old. Big shout out to the one, the only Asaka Digiono. Brought her into the fold in this great game. Her first rugby coach at Marsden. She's such a young player. She's an eyelash technician, Kiri. And she's also a demolition technician.
Unbelievably talented, one to look out for in this game.
Reds still down, 14 players. They're going to have to dig deep. They've bled 2 tries. Whilst they've been at a deficit. So some ball in hand and some proactive footy will help them. Here it is with Wong. Steps back on the inside. That ball will collect a few sets of hands on the way through, but it's going to be called a knock-on against the Reds and a scrum for the Drua.
Well, Wong, she's looking at the ref confused, and so she should be. She's passed that ball off, and it's hit the hand of a Drua player. So we'll take another look here. She cuts back into the inside, and she sees Doherty right there, and she's not happy about that one, and rightly so.
The referees, they're calling it as they see it out there. No TMO to help them out, so have to play it as it lies. Just like Shooter McGavin had to for that gold jacket. Huge scrum from the Drua. They won't get the advantage though. Now they work it through the hands. Rocco, no good pass there for Nervosa, but they shut her down quickly. Sinikarivi, Sawaso, she's on the field making her presence known. Korovata. Oh, and that's going to be given away so cheaply.
Forward pass first.
Korovata, she just floated that one forward, trying to find the hands of some of her speed on the outside. They had the numbers to the right. She had the right idea, fortunately.
I think her face said it all.
Visibly disappointed with that one.
I think she started squinting and convulsing before it got to her because she knew what was about to happen. Big scrum here for Doherty. She needs to be in and out. Drew will bear down like they just did, and they've got a turnover and advantage. And now Rocco Uno sends it out to the left. Millenia on the front foot. Great take by Tisolo. The Fijians are flying, and Kramer will bundle her into touch. But I've got a question about the tackle. It was borderlining high from Kramer.
It's a solo. She just ran out of space down that right-hand side, but the Drua, they were on once again with the overlap, breaking through the line of the Reds.
This is your space here.
Laurie Kramer, she's been on that cover defensive role really heavy this afternoon, and she's saved another potential try. The Reds line out.
2 knock-ons, first by Red, then by White. Scrum.
Lose it up high. And now it's the Drua with a scrum right at the end of the park that they love.
Frustration's building with the Reds. Another error.
Yep.
Given the scrum feed, as we just see here. Throw wasn't too bad for Gemma Bremrose. She just wasn't able to pull that one in.
See Wilkes making her way around. Looks like high ankle there. They've got a bit of ice. So have to just wait and see what the prognosis is on that. All the best to Mel Wilkes.
Set. Hit and hold. Keep it up here.
Karivi.
Use the ball.
Don't get any front foot drive at the scrum. But Dumu flies in to compensate. No half.
Out now, Red.
Dallinger jumps in.
Let's use it, Fiji.
Nice carry here for Lalambalavu.
Hold their pillars.
Drua attacking with their forwards, 8 metres out. Reds' defence will be tested.
Stay up. Stay up on your feet, White.
On the grindstone. They look out to the left-hand side. Rocco Uno chips it up over the top. A host of white jerseys, but it wasn't there for Milania.
Okay, so touch first. No, just before the post, ladies. Into touch first. Line out.
So the Reds hold out for a moment here, but a line out 5 metres away. And nowhere near in the clear.
It's an interesting tactic from the Drua. Go again.
With the Reds, they'll take the short line out. Already will fly into touch herself, and now it's the Drua with the attacking line out, 5 metres out.
They'll have another opportunity here, right on their line. They still have the numerical advantage, the Drua.
Let's go, get on the mark, on the line. Let's open up just a little bit in the middle here. Come in and set.
Good take by Coates. The Drua form up for the driving maul. It stalls for a moment. It's at the back now with Lalambalavu. She drives through the middle, tries to split it wide open on her own.
Use the ball.
Panosere picks and goes. Momentum once again building for the Drua. The forwards file in. They'll come back to the open side. Another big carry, but it's going to be held up. It's a good defensive effort from the Reds. Goal line dropout to come.
Yeah. Wait, just keep her off for a second. Do you want your yellow card to return? Okay. Should you bring her on now? Just wait till she's on, please, behind you.
For the Reds, they'll be back to 15. See the return of Carola Christ after her yellow card. The Drua, an opportunity missed there. They did well.
Right, when you're ready.
A number of phases in pick and go. They were held up over the line, and the Reds will have the dropout.
Now it's with the 6 cap Wallaroo. She's going for a restart. And they tried to retain it. The Drua will get their hands on it first, and then they're parked inside the 22. Bonassere. Drua players fanning out left and right. Rocco looks for the over route, but she'll find Milania, who charges forward, pops it up nicely. Waisenga getting hit by a truckload of force. She offloads it again. This is when they're lethal. Karavata's next. Pops it. Dumu. Players for days. Here come the Drua. Here's the debutante, Nevosa. Dumu pops it out. 2 passes here from Nasewa, but they have her beat. Out to the left. Dumu sweeps around. There's a huge overlap on that left-hand side, but the ball will be lost on the deck. Plenty of opportunities for the Drua, but the Reds hold on and keep them out.
It was gutsy defense from the Queensland Reds to hold off an onslaught from the Drua. There was offloads galore. Thought for sure Nevosa was over again on that right-hand side, and Dumu with a strong palm off. Beautiful defense from Shalom Salso just to jam in on Waisenga and force that error.
Now, when we called that trial game a few weeks ago, this kid popped on. I thought it was a typo, and it said, oh, here's this 16-year-old. She is so young, but so unbelievably talented. Her older brother, Sam, plays. He's in the Storm system in the NRL. Younger brother, TJ, plays for the Yippee Jets. And, you know, Cecilia Smith said during the week that she was mistaken. She thought it was a bit of a clone of herself, and she got a bit worried that she might steal her job.
Well, she's a perfect combination of speed and strength. The youngster, like you mentioned, when we watched that trial game, she was just electric. So I'm excited to see what she does with ball in hand.
The thing for me, it's the confidence. And that confidence translates to how many years of getting just beaten around by her brothers in the backyard playing footy, because she's an unbelievable asset, and it's so exciting to see her playing for the Reds, and I think she brings a lot to that centre's position.
She certainly does. She's just been on for a few minutes and she's had a big impact defensively so far.
Reds back to a full scrum. 7 metres out from their line. Doherty can't get her hands to it. Narakete pops it back to her though, off the back. Doherty, there's not much to her, and they're going to really make her pay for not being a bigger player. But the Reds, they must be a millimetre in front of that line. They've got an opportunity, and Dallinger jumps in for the clearance box kick off the back, and it is a fantastic kick, and I believe that flag is going the way of the Reds because it's been touched by the Drua on the way through.
Huge win for the Reds to get out of trouble there. The defence was just relentless off the back of that scrum from the Drua. Sarah Doherty popping a bunch of back rowers
Just a little bit at the front, please.
just on the line, but
Thanks,
Dallinger, who does exceptionally well here, and Jade Coates has just put a fingertip to the ball.
Now a long line out is scooped up cleanly by Romba Nakandavu. Now the Fijians on the front foot. Nice sewa. Rokono. Cut out. Here it is for Arai. The defence has been prompt. Another carry here for Romba Nakandavu. Sera Karivi. Head of steam from Koravata. She rumbles forward and she gets the try. The juggernaut was never going to be stopped.
Koravata, she was denied earlier. She won't be denied any longer. She earns her first try for this afternoon and her first try in Super Rugby Women's. She has put in a ton of work this afternoon. It was lovely, patient play from the Drua in the lead up to this, just capitalising on the errors from the Queensland Reds. It was just a one-off pass, and she looks up and she unfortunately sees Sarah Doherty as the only defender in front of her and just charges forward.
I think in her case it's fortunate that she sees that. That's the perfect mismatch. Do you know a really interesting stat against this Drua side? There has been not one player from the Reds that has ever scored more than 2 tries against them full stop, which is a really, I think, a phenomenal stat for the Drua to show how fierce they are in attack and defence. They have
30 seconds.
Come onto the scene the last few years, and they have been absolutely brilliant, and we see a conversion get the whistle of approval. It is the Drua extending the lead 22 points to 7 here in the second half.
Oh, she's gone off the back there, Charlie. Here.
The Drua, 2-time champions in Super Rugby Women's, and certainly making a statement this afternoon for their intentions for this 24 campaign.
So the Drua, it's an exciting time for them as well. They've got a massive season penned. They're up against the Waratahs next week as we get back to the action here. Dallinger, wonderful weight on that kick. Puts the Drua back inside their 22 for the first time in this second half. They look to crumble it out now. And a penalty. Navosa gets pinged for not releasing, and wouldn't you know, April Natapuna gets it done.
You okay?
Great turnover there for the front rower.
April Natapuna just come onto the field and certainly made her presence felt. The impact of the Reds, almost the first time in the second half, will find themselves within for the 22. Prime opportunity to try and peg
Just open up a little
this
bit. Come
score
in.
gap back.
Come in.
Still plenty of time left. 24 minutes on the clock. Greenhouse. She was in doubt earlier in the match, but she's taken a great one in the line out. And now it's at the back with Malloy. The Reds, they haven't had an opportunity like this in the second half. Doherty. Now a penalty against them. The Drua off their feet at the breakdown. The Reds will knock it on, but they've got the penalty to play with.
Number 2.
Middle of the park. Dallinger takes the tap. Quad cut out wide. Oh, but it's going to be lost by Greenhouse at the last hurdle. Oh. It was a 3 or 4 cut-out pass for Greenhouse. It was the right option, but
Thumbs off. Ladies, just
half
take
a
some space, okay?
millisecond in it.
Greenhouse, you thought she was over for all money. It was the fast tap and go, and just a lovely little nudge from Tinivalu.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Well, we can't do a penalty try. Don't have a number. Okay, but I will award a penalty here. Okay. Ladies, we've got a penalty. Okay. Deliberate knockdown.
So just to update everyone at home, the assistant referee's jumped in. It's been intentionally knocked down, but the Reds were not in a realistic scoring position, so it's a penalty only.
Hands off. Let's just get a ball, please. Let's get a ball. One here.
The hand from Tinivalu. Good pick up from the touchy.
Marks the line.
Another opportunity, Malloy finds her mark again. The Reds form up nicely. They've got some nice speed coming in towards the try line. They've just got to stay upright. It's a real pile on, and it's a penalty try for the Reds, an instant 7 points. And there's going to be a subsequent yellow card here for the Drua. This could really turn this match on its head, and it will be Anna Kuravata leaving the fields. Huge turn of the roll here for the Reds.
The discipline dropping for the Drua, and they've been punished for it. We just see here Kuravata collapsing that maul, pulling that Red defender forward. And they had the momentum, and they earned the penalty try because of it. They also spend the next 10 minutes with a player down. Certainly not what you want. The score's so close.
Well, it's been a massive game
In front.
for both sides, and another coach killer error. They're offside, but we're going to kick it on down now. Jeremy Austin, who's got an injury update on Queensland centre Mel Wilkes.
I do, mate, and it's not good news, unfortunately. It is exactly the
Just
same
let me know
foot
what
that
number
kept
they're
her
going to
out of
take
the
off.
game for nearly 12 months last
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Haven't
Just
got the
seeing who's
exact
coming off.
diagnosis as yet, but things not looking good for Mel. And swings and roundabouts, this game is going all over the shop.
Number
the first
6?
15 minutes of the second half,
Yeah.
all the way down in the Reds 22. Give the Reds 3 minutes and they're back down, getting some points on the board. I think we're going to see this game just open up just a little bit.
Thank you, rookie. And now it's another shuffle up here for the Drua. They've got to make way for a confident front row. So entering the team is Sanayeta Nambuli in the number 17 jersey.
Set. Keep it up.
Big opportunity here for the Queensland Reds. Advantage off that scrum. Dallinger around the other side. Goes for the kick. And they'll come back and play the advantage.
17.
The discipline from the Drua has brought this Red side
17.
straight back into this game and continues to do so. The Reds will have another penalty, another chance to work their way down the
What do you
field.
want to do? Captain, what do you... Okay,
Right
nice
middle of
scrum.
the field. And the Reds. They've got a great calendar coming up for their regular season matches. They're away next week playing the Force over at HBF Park. Back home for the Brumbies, away for the Rebels, and in that big one to finish it off the day after my birthday, they're playing the Waratahs in round 5.
Keep it up here.
Doherty over to the right, finds Dallinger. Here it is for Kramer. The Drua, they're going to have to be patient here and not give away anything cheaply. Huge carry here from Sauaso. Now the Reds, just outside the 22. Nice pick up here from Irwin.
Got anything there, mate?
Lost it in the tackle. Play on is the call. Malloy has got it, and she'll be rumbled forward 8 metres away. Oh, Ross pops it on nicely to Greenhouse. Middle of the park now. Doherty works it out to the right. Dallinger. There's that trademark kick. It'll go up, but it'll be a collision between players.
White.
It'll be knocked on by the Drua, so Reds with the scrum.
Good contest in the air.
20 minutes left on this clock, Kiri. It is just getting started.
Certainly is. Dallinger, once again with the crossfield kick, she's so fond of. Weighted perfectly.
Here you go, Captain, if you have any issues.
Just needed her air. Shalom, unfortunately, she came off second best to Milania, but it's a knock on, and the Reds will have the feed.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Okay, Moxie, let's go, ladies.
And it's a really, really big warm welcome to one of the very best, Liz Patu. She's out in the number 17 jersey, third all-time capped Queenslander with 32. She's back less than a year from seeing her son Peter born. So a big welcome to her, a legend of the game here in Queensland and Australia. And now it's with Sauaso, and the youngster with the fleet feet gets it done, and you will not see a bigger celebration this afternoon.
We said she was one to look out for, and that is the exact reason why. This kid is something special. Just pure force and beautiful running, and she will get a try on debut. The youngster, you mentioned she was electric in the trial games. We take another look here. Sarah Doherty, just a one-off pass, and she slides through 4 Drua defenders to cross over the line on that right-hand side, and she is excited.
Look at and you know, it wasn't an easy try, Kerry. She had so much work to do. She went against the grain towards all of the forwards coming out of that scrum. The fearlessness and the confidence for such a young player, it's almost unheard of.
She has put this team right back into this game.
Yeah. What time do you
opportunity to lessen that gap even more.
Digi Sensei told me today that apparently when she learnt how to rip a ball at training the first time, it was a light bulb moment and a love for the game started. Now it's with Kramer. Claps all round as the Queensland Reds have brought themselves back into contention. It's a 1-point ball game.
You just see there from Sauaso, she just has her eyes for the line, nothing else. She pins her ears back, she looks straight ahead.
Big shift for Narakete, leaves the field. Drua play it long. It's a nice clean take there by Christ. The players cramping on the field. It's been a fantastic contest between these two teams. Grand final rematch. Really a brilliant way to wrap up round 1 of this competition. And it excites everyone to think about what's coming in the remainder of the matches. Milania, left-hand side. Oh, and she's off and running. Milania, too much class. Still going. The offload is there. And Buddha, she'll get one herself, and they'll finish it off in style by Singer. for the try, puts them back ahead.
Oh, the Drua. Anything that the Reds can do, they will do better. What a response from Waisenga. A number of players in that passage of play leading up to the try, and just beautiful break from Milania down that sideline, and thought she almost had it over herself. She needed the support there, and just a pop-off pass. So we take another look here. Palms off one defender, two defenders. It's a foot race between herself and Cecilia Smith, and she just clips her around the ankles. She finds Latte Buna, and it's Waisenga that will finish it off for the Drua. Wonderful response.
And it's just this style that we've come to love. This is how they play it in the islands. It's not about getting bogged down in the ground. That next person rolls through. We pop it up to them. If they get stuck, there's two more coming. It's a phenomenal way to play, and it's iconic for the Fijians as the conversion sails shorten to the left. It will be the Drua in the lead, 27 points to 21. 14 minutes left on the clock. And I'll tell you what's exciting, Kiri, is what's coming up for the Drua, because the ladies, for the first time, the game is heading home, and next week, in what is slated to be a monstrous clash, they will be hosting the Waratahs up at Churchill Park in Lautoka. Huge match coming up for them, a lot of significance. I'm pretty sure that's a double header as well. The boys will be playing in and around it, so what a time for rugby in the Pacific. But now it's here for Dallinger. Wong, it's been a quiet game by her standards today. Smith beats one, gets the offload back to Wong, outside the 22. The Drua swarming that breakdown, and they really should, because no one's at home for the Reds. Smith, Ross, Dallinger, Kramer. Oh, too much on that one. Irwin takes the settler. She's being harassed, though, by Naisewa. Heated line from Patu. Bit of a pirouette as well. What a carry from Liz. The crowd really getting behind her. Now it's flat here for Natapuna. They've gone out wide to Christ. Smith switches it for Wong. 2 switches in 2 minutes. Doherty working frantically, edge to edge. Doherty. Now it's here for Malloy. Dallinger on the left. Little kick through. Price is the only one there, but it'll be grabbed up cleanly by Nevosa. Whoa, that's a big contact on Doherty. A small 9 was fearless in that contact. The Reds get pinged at the breakdown.
Well, the Reds, they were building and building. They were applying that pressure, and Dallinger, she just put the kick through. She had numbers out to her left, and opportunity gone and missed. She's coughed up possession back to the Drua, and find themselves out of danger.
Yep.
Oh, Kiri, a rolling stone gathers no moss, and this game has just been non-stop for the last 70-odd minutes at Ballymore. As we see the Drua, they have done brilliantly in the face of that yellow card. They've held on to their lead. And that's a really instrumental 10 minutes there. They've come out very well. Head coach Moses Braluni will be very pleased. Now an error at line-out time. It's a bit of a chicken scratch, but it comes down for the Drua. There'll be a high shot.
Where you are, keep going.
Now it's a free pass for Senikarivi. Inside. Fresh legs, good carry there from Senivutu. Gets the offload away, and another one there for Nevosa. Oh, but they lose it finally. You just wonder how many passes can you push, and they just find another one each time. What a great game it's been this afternoon.
Is she off?
Well, that's right for the Drua. Just one offload too many that they had there, and they've come up with the error, but they've worked themselves 55 metres from where they were just in trouble with the Reds, pressuring their line, as we see here. Offload. Defence from the Reds, they're scrambling over, and just white jerseys all around in support.
And Kiri, from your point of view as well, from back when you were playing, when you see where Super Rugby Women's has grown to at this point in time. It's got to be such a good feeling to see the game is evolving and going from strength to strength.
It certainly is. The skill set of these girls has come leaps and bounds over the years, and you have the opportunity to be a part of quality matches like this. And it's only the best thing is that there's so much room for improvement as well. And for me, the only way is up from here.
And for me, it might be the exposure. Like, we're getting to see these players. We get to interact with them on our screens week to week. It's just such a pleasure to do, and it's great to see the expansion that the women's game is getting with all the international fixtures this year. So a lot of people and a lot of critics said a lot of things, but it sounds like they're getting listened to up at the higher echelons. Now it's with Wonga on the right-hand side, gives them so beats the first, but she goes head-on with Rocco Uno. Doherty, the pass to Ross wasn't a good one, but it's still with the Reds. They'll be desperate to score in the next few minutes. Dallinger for the kick, sees no one at home. It'll go inside that 22, but it's an easy take for the Drua, who go for the chip and chase. And it'll bounce back towards them, but...
She's offside. You're within the 10. You're in front of the kicker and within the 10.
A big opportunity here for the Reds. I think they just need to take a moment and figure out what the best trajectory is going to be.
That's right, and they'll get a nice settler here. From the looks of it, they're going to send it down for the line out.
Well, they'll get the line out, and if they can somehow score and convert, they'll edge ahead and take the lead, a lead that they have not had since the 19th minute of this game. And the Drua, they really have run away from them here. And this is reminding me a bit of that grand final last year, Kerry. We saw the Drua get out to that big 38-point lead, and then the Reds, they fought really hard, and they got within. They got up to 30 points, I think, right at the very end, but that's as far as it goes. There seemed to be a bit of a tradition here with having to run down a Fijian score in the second.
Certainly is. A lot of back and forth this afternoon. The Reds get us back underway.
The Drua countermall's got some horsepower. In the corner with Malloy.
Get ready to use it.
Doherty's
And now, use it now.
told to use it. And she'll take the carry. It is a tackle.
You're on the ground.
Dallinger gives it to Ross. Takes the settler. Eyes for that 22, but she'll be dragged down nicely by Nambuli. Right-hand side. Good pass from Patu. Finds Natupuna. Knight on the field. Works career development department. Now the Reds inside the 22. Thorpe, it's been a big shift for the 9. Malloy at first receiver. Loses it in the carry. And now it's with the Drua. Inside the 22, it dribbles. But it's going to be scooped up, and it's powerful stuff. Starting with Ravutia. Laurie Kramer puts on a cracking hit, and Wong cleans up the ball. This breakdown has now gone back and forth both ways. It's a pick and go. Railumu is there, but the Drua leave it behind. It's carnage on the field. And Ella Goldsmith is the one to tell us what's up next.
Well, the fatigue starting to set in for both sides. We just saw back and forwards, back and forwards. There's only a few minutes left in this game, Marty, and for me, it's going to be the team that's able to minimise the errors at this rate.
It's also next try wins.
Yeah, okay.
The age-old rule that prolongs so many touch football games at the end of training or at the end of the day. Next try wins here, and we're seeing that desperation in both of these sides. The Reds, they've gotten themselves back into a spot where they could effectively grab that lead. But the Drua, they are fiercely protecting what they've got at the moment, because remember, it's such a lot. I don't think we don't appreciate the last couple of seasons. They've been nothing but away playing from home. They're constantly on the road. So if you're not coming out here to get a big win before you head home for a bit of carver, what are you doing?
The difference between these two teams at the moment is that the Reds are doing really well to build their phases, but it's those little errors that are then letting them down and releasing that pressure on the Drua where they're then counter-attacking. For the Drua, it's almost the opposite problem. They want to get that support play of free-flowing football, but they're coughing up the ball time and time again, just trying to get that ball away when they really need to hold on to it and reset their rucks and go again.
You think there might have to be a bit of a reset of expectation? We know they like playing ad-lib. They like to play it fast and loose. But fatigue really factors into that, like you're saying. You know, do they have to maybe curve their expectation of what they should expect of themselves as they start going deeper into these games?
I think so. Or they just good identification and game awareness that they've only got a few minutes left on the clock. They're up by a try on the board, but they just want to maintain that possession, hold on to that ball, run down the clock. They can still play that open, free-flowing game that they love to do, but they need to pick and choose their moments.
Hey, water off now, guys. Water off. Water off. Water
And
off, please.
next week's fixtures across the board, obviously it'll be the Drua hosting Tars at Churchill Park, the Force and the Reds over at HBF. So lots happening across the way, and the Rebels and the Brumbies will be doing battle as well. So round 2 lining up to be a spicy one, and we'll be able to catch up on all the action throughout the week on Stan Sports. So many shows every day of the week. There's something for you to watch now. As we see a full-arm penalty here for the Reds. And they're inside that 15-metre channel.
Yeah.
So a good kick from Dallinger will be critical.
Well, the Drua trying to get that ball back. They're trying to regain possession, but at the moment, got one side angling in and twisting that scrum, and it's painting a picture for the referee, and she's going straight to the whistle.
Yeah. Girls, open up. Let's go. Open up. Open up.
Big line out here for Queensland. Malloy. The fate of the game could rest on this very throw. It's taken nicely by Knight. And she's riding that one all the way in as we see Christ appear from the back. Doherty. Dallinger. Smith. Toasso straightens up, but it's going to be a forward pass. This game turns back and forth. And it's here now with the Drua. Scrum inside their 22.
Crucial error for the Reds. 5 minutes to go. Fortunately, a forward pass. You see here, Cecilia Smith. She had the right idea. She wanted to get it to her power runner.
Just under her.
It's a tough call, that one.
Let's go forward together, okay? Forward together.
The Reds, they'll be dying for a way through. Can Ivania Wong do it? 2022 Super W Player of the Year. Most tries by a Queensland Red, 17 to her name. She hasn't missed a single game of Super W since its inception, and now Super Rugby Women's that it is known. And now the Drua, they get one back at scrum time. They march the Reds forward, pack up the park. They'll get the penalty. And this gives them some desperately needed breathing room.
Well, the Drua is what they were trying to do earlier, and they've succeeded this time around. They've gotten low. They're in sync, pushing through together. A well-earned penalty for them, and they start to try and wind down this clock as we just take another look here. Lovely work from the Drua.
You got four. Drua, in and set. Let's go. In and set. Here.
It's a 4-man line out, and it's gone a little bit pear-shaped, but it's stayed with the Drua. Wailumu gets it out. Great passing. Opens up some space here for the Drua. Good carry by Waisenga. Ralumu working hard off the back. Numbers out to the right here. Look at the speed from Buna. Nevosa straightens up. She's had a huge first match here. Bouncing pass across the face. The players are sweeping around. Nakesa. Oh, she loses it. Flick pass out the back. It's play on. Back with it is Puna. Runs head into Sa'aso. She hunts for that turnover. Now a pick and go here from Senivutu. The Drua, millimetres away. Raulumu, the halfback, goes in. Melania, her pass leaves a lot to be desired. It's picked up though by Rumba Nakandavu. The Drua still with it. Roko Uno out here for the captain, Naisewa. Beats the first. There's space. Naivosa is through. And that will do it. What a debut for the youngster. A double. And the Drua firmly in the lead with but minutes left on the clock.
Naivosa, she'll be the hero of this Drua side this afternoon. It was exactly what the Drua needed, picking and choosing their moments, when to offload, when to take it in and reset. A couple of passes that went astray, but they regrouped well and with speed, and it's this overlap on the right-hand side that they were able to create. Break down the middle from Waisenga, got them started. Just see here, lovely cutout ball from Roku Ono, and eventually finds its way to Naivosa. It looks to be, Marty, the nail in the coffin this afternoon.
30 seconds.
Well, nail in the coffin for the Reds, but I think it's a player of the match performance for the debutant. Jennifer Ravotia looking for the extras. It's a fair old strike, but it's going to be out to the right. But the Drua here. 11 points the lead. Victory is all but guaranteed for them. The question will be, Kiri, do the Reds dig in deep and go in search of that bonus point? Because we know how tight this is going to be in 4 weeks' time. And those bonus points could be the very thing that makes finals.
That's right, and what a display of rugby we've had this afternoon from both sides. They'll certainly take a lot away from this game as they head into the rest of the season.
Dallinger. Up and down, but it's a very clean take there by Vendriaki. Now the Drua, they'll want to wear this clock down. Raulumu at the helm. Into the pocket they go. Don't tell me they're looking for more. Roko Uno takes the settler midfield. Rolling the dice. I like it. Rumba Nakandaravu. Chop it downfield. They're not quite done yet as we hear the hooter at Ballymore sound. Dallinger gets it away. So nearly trips over her feet, keeps going forward. The offload is scooped up though by Thorpe. Still with the Reds. Price playing for the losing bonus point. Kramer for Smith, but it'll be lost. A knock on. But a phenomenal performance by the Fijian Drua. Our reigning champions start off the 2024 season perfectly. They get the win, 32 points to 21 over the Queensland Reds.
There'll be a lot of tired bodies out there this afternoon, but what an outing from both sides. The Drua coming away the victor in an incredible game.
And that game, Kiri, it just had a little bit of everything. The Reds, they started off so red hot in that opening 14. Then the Drua, they got off the stage fright and they started playing their game. We started to see the offloads. They got confidence in their set piece. And then this game was back and forth, and it was another instant classic.
Certainly was, like you mentioned, a lot of back and forwards, and there's certainly things about this game that both teams will want to clean up. You take a look back here, the opening score, Vani Arai crossing over for her team off some beautiful work of Melania. The Drua just with the offloads galore to get them over the line this afternoon.
Yeah, and they really did hit the ground running hard in this second half. A crashing try for Korovata. Just unstoppable. Doherty was not the matchup that they needed for that one. But the Reds, they had an opportunity here. That yellow card from the Drua gave them an in, and this driving maul was fantastic.
That's right. It was this moment here, the penalty try. The Drua, they had a big lapse. They had a yellow card. The penalty count was mounting, and it was the opportunity for the Reds to really pick up and go from this moment on.
And the Reds, they'll have some opportunities that they definitely left on the field, and they'll see it in the review, but this is a bright light in this team. Young Sauaso, what a try. She got on some massive hits, but just the fearlessness of this player, you've got to think that new head Wallaroos coach Joe Yap, she'll be keeping an eye on this one.
It was a clutch moment for the Reds, and when they really needed someone to step up, she was the one to do it. But the Drua had the perfect response. Milania once again down this left-hand side, and she finds her support play, and it's just offload after offload to find Wei Sanger to cross over the line.
It's just this elusiveness that we've seen in past years when teams can successfully contain it. The Drua are a much more beatable beast, but if you can't get that done as a start, it's going to be a really rough 80 minutes.
And then we got to the point in the closing minutes of the game where we did say the last try was going to win, and the Drua were building phases nicely, but it was this player right here, Nevosa. In our opinion, MVP of the match. She just did an outstanding job and was able to cross over to seal the game for her team.
And in light of these fantastic scenes, which makes our game so very special, we now kick it down to Mr. Jeremy Austin, who's with the winning captain, Kara Nesewa from the Drua.
Thank you, Marty. Kara, what a game to start the first game of the season for the Super W. Tough game for you. A few errors riddled for both sides. What positives can you take out of today for your side moving forward for the rest of the comp?
It's just our structure game. We're sticking on our structure game and playing our Fijiana game. This is the offload and going forward.
Now this magnificent crowd that's out here today, they're always supportive and they're very, very loud. There's some beautiful singing going on behind us. How much do you rely on that crowd?
First of all, binakabaleo bikim to na bitokoni, kim do mitokoni kito na ngonela na kabina ni kwa. Kisengo kimni kisiniwango kenarirai. Thank you to all the supporters back at home who's been cheering for us and supporting us all the way. Thank you. Binakabaleo.
Thank you, Kara. Good luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you. Naka.
Back to you, Marty.
Oh, phenomenal scenes here at Ballymore. The reigning champions get the victory, and it panned out to a bit of a bigger score than it was looking at times. The Drua coming away with the victory, 32 points to 21. We see it now, Captain Cecilia Smith, a wonderful part of this game. They can belt each other around for 80 minutes, but they're arm in arm. It's such a special feature of rugby union. We love to see the sounds of the Pacific too ringing out beautifully across Ballymore. And it was the Drua, too good. A double for debutant Nevosa, leading the field. Harai Waisenga, Tanani Vala and Kodavata getting across, and then the Reds, that just wasn't enough on the field for them. But that wraps up round one here for the Super Rugby Women's Competition. We are well and truly into it. There is some exciting fixtures coming up next week. We see the results laid before us, the Force, the Tars and the Drua getting important round one victories, Kiri. And when we look forward into what's coming next week, what do you think the pressure matches are going to be?
Oh, look, it's just an interesting lineup. Almost every week you see the Rebels and the Brumbies, both teams going with a loss. It'll be really important in such a short season for them to come back. Drua and the Waratahs, both teams coming off of a win, and the Force and Reds. It's especially for the Drua at Churchill Park. What a big game that's going to be.
Can't afford to drop a game in the season so short. Make sure you stay tuned, folks. Stan Sport is your home for all of your content during the week. We are going to be back next weekend with another stunning round of Super Rugby Women's. Please stay with us for that. My name is Martin Litfield. Thank you so much for your company over this match. We'll catch you next time.